Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually doing it. I am listening to AM by Arctic Monkeys. Now, you may be wondering, why am I doing this, even though I ended the Arctic Monkeys series after I listened to Humbug? And listen, this album is one that I, despite having spoken about it many, many, many times, despite hating this album, I've never actually listened to it. I have only heard songs from this album. I've heard Do I Wanna Know? I've heard Are You Mine? I think I've heard number one Party Anthem. I've heard I Wanna Be Yours. And I have disliked every single one of those songs. I have found them all to be white wallpaper, boring, drab, dry, just essentially incredibly lifeless rock music. So I wanted to give this full thing a try to see what my take on the album as a whole would be, because I don't want to just blindly hate on this thing without giving the full project a try. I don't want to just blindly come in here and say that the entire thing sucks, even though I've never listened to it front to back. Like, my hatred of this album, it's so strong yet unfair, to the point where in multiple of other people's like topic videos, I have brought up this album. In one of He Who Shall Not Be Named videos, I listed this for mid music. In one of Fantano's most recent posts, he asked for like what's the most like bland sounding music, and I mentioned this album, and it got a response. Like, I have gone to bat against this album despite never actually having listened to it in full. So that's what we're doing today. This album came out in 2013, 12 tracks, 41 minutes. I've heard a handful of tracks off of this thing, and I've disliked all of them. Yeah, I'm going into this thing with quite low expectations, but hoping to be won over. I hope that this thing can sway me, can change my opinion, and that I will find myself actually surprisingly enjoying it, but I don't have particularly high hopes in that regard. Yeah, this album is well received across the board. Like, it's got an 81 critic score on Album of the Year, 71 user score. People really do like this thing, like 11,000 ratings as well. That's a large aggregate of people to say that this album is good collectively. So that at least does give me some hope that maybe I'll pull some more enjoyment out of this thing, considering the fact that the reception of it is a lot better than you'd expect, considering a lot of the discussion around it. I think I'm just going to get into this. I don't think there's anything else I need to really say. I mean, we're doing it. We're listening to fucking AM by Arctic Monkeys. Let's run it. Track 1, a song everyone on the planet has already heard. Do I Want to Know? The one truck monk music. Do you ever get that? Cause there's this tune I found that makes me think of you somehow, and I play it on repeat. Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go, crawling back to you. Never thought I'd call and run. You're right, you. Song fucking sucks. Oh my god, it's so dry. It's so dry. This guitar tones, this just stupid sounding ass chorus, such a dog shit melody. I've never enjoyed this song, but like, having the context of having heard how much attitude and how much personality is in their older music, this is just so colorless. And not even colorless that feels like it's intentionally trying to like match the album cover or anything. I mean, it's legitimately like lacking any flavor or any style or anything to say. This song doesn't say anything. It doesn't go anywhere. This entire track feels like an example of a legitimate nothing song. I have never enjoyed this track, and I have to say that this as an album opener is very weak. Been wondering if your heart's still open, and if so, I wanna know what time it should simmer down and poker up. We can't be doing this simmer down and pucker up shit, dude. We can't. Come on. Come the fuck on. I forgot how bad the lyrics were. Certified hate listener. Yeah. backing vocals are fucking so bad as well. They do not match tonally at all. It's like Weezer backing vocals. That riff is iconic though. Iconic and good are two different words. I'm feeling a low 3 on this song. I do not enjoy this track, and I've always kind of had a dislike for it, but I think it's listening for the first time in context of this album that has really set into stone just how much I don't like this. It doesn't work as an album opener. It doesn't work as just a rock song. It doesn't work as an Arctic Monkeys track. It feels like them tonally trying to replicate like a middle ground between the White Stripes and Queens of the Stone Age, and doing neither well. It doesn't capture this desert feeling all that well. It doesn't capture the rawness all that well. It feels like this track is incredibly manufactured to sound as much out of a radio rock song, as much of a fucking truck anthem as possible, and it falls flat on its face. There's not a single moment of this track that has any style, substance, or anything to say, and I have to say this is a truly difficult song to talk about in how much of a nothing burger it is. Nothing really goes on that's all that notable or interesting at all during this song. There's not really a single second of it that I think of as even like worth discussing. I legit see this song as just white wallpaper. Unnotable, boring, flat, and ultimately quite bad. I actually have Are You Mine? I forget if I like this song or not. It's been a while since I've heard this. I'm a puppet on a string, Tracy Island, time traveling, years too late. She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding through an open space. Yeah, I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. Okay, this is better than I remember. Production kind of sucks. Everything feels super dampened. Okay, that's a big problem with this, I think, is that this production is really bad. Everything is super flat and dampened and very padded, and it makes everything lack so much punch, especially if I look back to the first album. It's so raw, everything is so loud, and like it feels like it's all like clashing all at once, and it makes everything feel super punchy and impactful. It is the complete opposite, where it's so specifically produced to make everything sound perfect, to the point where it kind of loses a lot of its power. I still am enjoying this song so far. This opening riff is far better than I remember. Matt Helders is providing some pretty interesting drums, particularly that iconic drum intro specifically. And I feel like the song on the whole, especially with Alex Turner's vocal melodies, it is pretty solid so far, even if I think this production is shit. What I'm trying to say is I need the deep end, keep imagining meeting. Well, are you mine? Are you mine? That was fucking terrible. Wow. Song starts a lot stronger than it finishes. It kind of gets a little stale as it drags these sections out to 3.5 minutes. It feels like this song could be genuinely cut down by a minute or so, and it would have been a lot more of a satisfying experience. For the most part, I will say it's an enjoyable track. I think that the riffing on this song is really fun. Alex Turner brings the bravado in a way that doesn't feel quite as vapid or lifeless as it has on other tracks where he brings this sort of vocal style. And I will say that for the most part, I think the performances here are solid as hell in spite of the quite lackluster production. I'd give this track a low 6. It's better than I remember it being, I will say. At the start, I couldn't remember if I enjoyed it or not, but I do remember beforehand me thinking this track was kind of on the same level as Do I Want to Know. But I will say this is certainly the better of the two openers, and I think that this track does provide a little bit of hope that there will be more songs like this that are still fun and able to carry the album above being bad. The first song I have not heard, One for the Road. I have not heard this track. From the bottom of your heart, so we all go back to yours and you sit and talk to me on the floor. Okay, all of my hopes have immediately been crushed by this song. It's so it's so fucking flavorless. Holy shit, it is just wow. I went into this album expecting it to be a bit bland, but holy shit, there's nothing to this. There is no meat on this bone. Oh my god, this sounds so fucking just empty. This guitar tones, this bass, the production as well is so skeletal. It feels like they've tried so hard to make it sound like so perfect, and as a result, all of the life has just been ripped out of this thing. Okay, this is an interesting point, but I do have a counter to this. This album is perfect for when it was released. If you feel, I feel like if you listen to the band's whole discography, you can definitely see them maturing with each album. That's true. Like throughout their discography, they do mature on each album, but there's a difference between maturing and losing your identity. Like you can mature and still keep a very mature as a band and still keep a very specific sense of identity. That's not what Arctic Monkeys have done. They have lost all of that with this. Like, this doesn't feel like the same band at all. This is such a husk of what was once a great indie band, and we are left with what essentially feels like milking it. The best way I can describe this is just milking it. Like, they don't have anything to say here. I don't understand why this album was made. There's nothing to say. This doesn't even feel like an artistic statement of where the band is at, if that makes sense. I genuinely don't even see how this is an artistic statement of where the band is at, because it's not presenting any ideas that are all that reflective, that are all that introspective, that feel like they are actually putting out any particular emotions. I don't get the appeal of this album at all. I really don't see anything with this. They seem to be trying too hard to make something they think Josh Homme would like. Yeah, the whole album's so faux dark. Yeah, Humbug felt like the steps in the signs of regression. This just feels like the confirmation of that regression, and that sucks. The maturation from debut to the final transaction, in my opinion. Yep. This song is fucking horrible. I'm feeling a flat 3. Yeah, this track is about as bland as watching a paint dry. About as fun as watching paint dry is how that saying goes, actually. My bad. Yeah, there's nothing to this song, really, that I can even sit here and try and pick apart or talk about. Nothing happens in this song. You just kind of float through this vast, colorless, empty space, and then the song's over. Alex Turner doesn't bring anything lyrically that I can say is close to being interesting. This One for the Road motif is cringe at best. Cringe at worst and forgettable at best. I think that melodically this track doesn't even have a single catchy or memorable moment. The song just ended and I couldn't tell you a single fucking melody. I couldn't recite a single one for you. I absolutely hated this song. Head to toe. This was rough. This song was fucking rough. Let's see, I have Arabella. I think I've heard this song. I recognize the title at the bare minimum. Areola. Song would be a 10 if it was called that. My days am best when the sunset gets itself behind the eye. Hey, you guys know the White Stripes? You guys know when the White Stripes do some, like, raw, heavy, 70s-inspired rock and roll? Yeah, this is just that, minus Jack White's charismatic personality and the production chops of a White Stripes album. Yeah. Yikes. He does try very hard to sound cool on this album. Yeah, it's the most popular rock album of the streaming age. It's wild that this is it. Fuck you. No. You can't pull this shit out at the end here. Jesus. This is the worst song so far. I'm feeling a high 2 on this. Oh my god. We are just drowning in our influences and adding nothing to them on this one. In fact, we're regressing from what our influences have provided us. Yeah, this feels like a another track that's very White Stripesy, but it removes all of like the character that a vocalist like Jack White brings, all of the interesting 70s spun production that you get from one of their songs as well. This is just, and I'm not even a big White Stripes guy. Like, I am not a White Stripes fan in the slightest. Like, they're not really my cup of tea. But this is taking like the stuff that I do enjoy about their music, and it's stripping the color and the personality from it in a way that legitimately leaves me feeling kind of disgusted that this exists. I cannot stand a single fucking second of this, dude. Like, Are You Mine was okay, but the rest of this album has just been genuinely like offensive in how much it has just like blatantly ripped so many things from other people and done them with just a lack of any taste. This is a very tasteless album so far. Fucking yikes. I really don't think this is gonna get any better. I'm scared getting into the rest of this, dude. This has been a bad experience so far, and I can't see it getting any better. I want it all up next. Okay, truck month music. This is a piss take. This is an actual piss take. Whose fucking idea was this? Yeah, this made it into Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time. Wow. What is this bullshit fade out, dude? Oh my god. Feeling a high 1 on this one. This is, this song is a fucking amalgamation of all of the worst things this album has had to offer, combined into one unbearable shit show. I cannot believe this song exists. This is the worst Arctic Monkeys song I've heard, pretty solidly. This track is baffling. I legitimately am in shock that this song exists, and that the same band who made the first album made this. Like, this is genuinely up there with the worst that the band has done. This is, like, even worse than a lot of the shit on Humbug, and I fucking hated Humbug. I don't know how the fuck we've gotten here. Like, any sense of passion, any sense of life, any sense of character has just been stripped bare from this band, and we're left with just this radio filler, faux desert rock sounding bullshit. This album is bullshit. This entire thing is window dressing as different acts for the sake of trying to lure people into this shitty aesthetic of this raw, desert sounding ass album, and it's not working at all. This is a miserable experience. Holy shit. Number 1 Party Anthem.
So you're on the prowl, wondering where the lights in the floors and sweat on the walls, cages and poles. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on.
This album is entirely banking on aesthetics. It's like these lyrics are just making it blatantly obvious to me that this entire thing is built around you finding this aesthetically pleasing. It's banking 100% on the aesthetics. It's trying to come across as this, like, again, dimly lit, loungy, kind of sexy 70s inspired rock. And it is just, it's putting all of its stock in that, and it's failing. All of its stock is going into its aesthetic, and it can't even get it right. It's like, it has such a deep misunderstanding of what makes all of its influences work. It has such a deep misunderstanding of how to craft satisfying pop rock songs. You came from a Twitter post that said I was cancelled for saying foul language towards certain individuals. Yeah? Was it me giving Michael Jackson an 8 out of 10 again? Because I did get cancelled for that. I did get in trouble for giving Michael Jackson an 8 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. I've said everything under the sun. I'll have to be specific. Alex Turner's presentation, especially even going back to Humbug, has just come across as so posh in all the wrong ways to an absolute inauthentic degree. Yeah. Again, all of his like youthful northern charm is just gone. And instead of like bringing it to a mature and intellectual place as he's gotten older, he's just tried to come across as if he has aura. He's just trying to aura farm, and he can't aura farm. Did get an 8 if Father John Misty was singing. True. That was one of the songs that has ever been made. I'm feeling a solid 3 on that. That was the definition of in one ear, out the other. Again, just a truly nothing burger of a song. It feels like eating sand. I got nothing to say about this shit, dude. This album is so fucking... This album is so fucking bland. Like, this is music for just the most idle of listeners. If this was on in the background, I wouldn't notice it was happening. I've got nothing to say about number 1 Party Anthem. This song is such a fucking nothing burger. It's like, it feels like legit the equivalent of actually watching paint dry, dude. It's so fucking boring. These songs don't go anywhere. There's no interesting individual parts from any instrumentalist. It feels like Alex Turner is even sleepwalking his way through this one. His vocal melodies don't even feel like they're trying to be sexy or sensual. It feels like he is just singing this song for the sake of there being vocals here. I got nothing to say about this one, dude. This track is just stale, boring bullshit. Mad Sounds up next. Everyone's saying this song sucks.
In your ear.
I'm scared about this one now.
Yeah, they make you get up.
The song was called Pet Sounds. I'll give it a 10. True.
I suppose you've gotta do what you gotta do with just one feeling.
This is exactly what this album needed. A country-influenced song. What this album needed was a track that has country-influenced melodies, country-influenced drums with those upbeat shakers. Just a genuine continuation of just how bland everything has been, adding in country elements into the things that it wants to bastardize. I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry at this album. This is fucking intolerable.
Somebody comes and hits you with an ooh la la la, ooh la la.
Surely not, right? Surely the song didn't just start going into ooh la las, right? I'm mishearing. I must be. Because a band like Arctic Monkeys would not be stupid enough to jump into ooh la las in the middle of this song, surely, right?
You got those mad sounds in your ear. Oh yeah, they make you get up.
I'm trying to get a gauge of what like the artistic intention is here. What is it that they're trying to get across with this song? Like I am genuinely trying. I'm not trying to make like a shitty joke here. I'm genuinely trying to get a gauge of what it is they're trying to say with this, and I can't. This is like depressing to listen to. It's legitimately kind of sad to see where this band has gone. This fucking sucks, dude. It's shit to see a band that like had such a promising start with like one of my favorite indie rock albums of all time, followed by a really like solid follow-up album that I don't love but still really enjoy, and then just digging ourselves deeper and deeper down a hole of just our artistic merit being stripped. Like I'm getting angry. I'm feeling quite sad listening to this. I'm disappointed to the highest degree I could possibly be. This is probably the most disappointing thing ever in terms of music, like the most disappointing album ever. A band that has so much promise being reduced to this. Yeah, I'm feeling a high zero. So solid to high zero, yeah. Fireside. Okay.
I can't explain, but I wanna try. Or is this image
Oh, Tranquility Base 100%.
in my heart?
Like, I don't like that album anymore, but it's better than this.
There's all those places we
Bringing back the shoe up backing vocals is certainly a choice.
do lately.
I'm so bored that I'm messing about with my headphone splitter, by the way. I have this just in my hands playing with it because I'm struggling to keep focused on the album. That song is better than the last couple, I suppose. It has some interesting elements where this track doesn't feel just like a straight carbon copy of stuff that's come before. This track does feel like it does have more of like a driving sense of urgency. It does have some electronic elements that made my ears perk up when they appeared. They weren't good, but they were at least interesting. This track is better than the majority of songs we've gotten so far. It's a solid 4. It's not particularly good, but it was at least a notable song that felt like it was actually trying to do something interesting and felt like it was trying to say something, even if I don't think it accomplished that at all, really. Up next we have Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High? Okay, this song's huge, and I remember not liking this song.
But I'm not finished, 'cause you're not by my side. Now it's 3 in the morning, and I'm trying to change your mind. Why'd you only call me when you're high? High.
The song is basically just like a less heavy version of Are You Mine? Like, I've always had that thought in my head, and listening to the album front to back, I'm like, oh, this song is literally just Are You Mine, but not explosive. They're repeating songs now. Come the fuck on. It's like one of the bigger hits on the album as well.
It's harder and harder to get you
Almost
to
dropped my headphone splitter. I will say I do kind of like the chorus. Like it's Are You Mine again, but it's better than Are You Mine on the chorus at least. The verses kind of suck still, but it's got a decent chorus. Decent instrumental switch up too. I don't remember this part. It's the strongest song on the album, in my opinion. I think this song's actually decent. It's a 6.8 for me. Yeah, high 6. Song's okay. I think it's like Are You Mine again, but just a little bit better this time, where I think the chorus is a little more catchy. I think the lows aren't quite as low. The highs are a tiny bit higher, but the lows are still pretty low, and the highs are a far cry from being the highest. This song is okay. It's listenable. If it's on in the background, I could find myself passively enjoying it, but actually getting into the weeds of this track, it still is a bit of a nothing burger and not one that I can really find myself coming back to at all. It's okay. Snap Out of It. Holy shit, there's so many massive... I forget how many huge hits there are on this album. I've heard Snap Out of It.
What's been happening in your... I wanna grab the shoulders and shake, baby. Snap out of it.
It's like they heard Make It With You by Queens of the Stone Age, and they were like, yeah, we can do kind of like a piano-led desert rock track like that, and then they just made the most soulless cash grab sounding ass version of it. Yeah, the song sounds just as dry as I remember it. Still, like, this is just another fucking song on the album, dude. This is so unnotable.
It sounds like settling down, giving up, but it don't sound much like you, girl. I wanna grab both your shoulders and shake, baby. Snap out of this. I get the feeling
Bass.
I left it under a spell. You're hypnotized.
I've run out of things to say about this. All of these songs are just mush. They're just blending together for me. Every song just has the same fucking bag of tricks. It's legit just the same boring bag of tricks on repeat. They're not giving me anything to fucking say about this music because there's nothing to talk about. It's not catchy. The instrumental doesn't really progress or do anything interesting at any points. The entire song just feels like it's constantly meandering around the same ideas and not giving you anything to cling on to. Like, I remember this song being bad, but Jesus Christ, dude, feeling another, like, low 3. Down to the final 2, Knee Socks up next.
You got the lights on in the afternoon, and you were sitting in the corner with the coats all piled high, when I thought you might be mine.
Like, what the fuck is this song about? Let me get Genius up and see if there's any deeper meaning to be pulled out of this shit, because surely the lyrics can't be this fucking nothing, right? Perhaps the album's best song is Talk to My Friends, everything about strength safety from the bass. Okay, so there's no explanation about this. Josh Homme's on this song? Yeah, this song is about what it says on the surface level. Wow. It is what you get on the tin.
That you were trying not to lie, Lisa. For me, could have been a team, each had a half of a king and queen seat.
There's Josh Homme. The song is just as bad as everything else. Like, nothing notable. This one drags. I'll give it that. The song's too long. It's 4 minutes when it could have stopped at 3 or 2.5. There were multiple points that felt like good spots for the track to end, and then it just kept going. Again, the album's stopped giving me anything to talk about. It's not providing me interesting things to say. A long time ago. Solid 2 on that song. Bad, uninspired, had me genuinely had me like wanting to fall asleep at multiple points. Song was pretty trash. I Want to Be Yours, the final song. I've heard this song, and it's not very good. Like, immediately it feels like they're trying to recreate 505.
I wanna be your vacuum cleaner, breathing in your dust. I wanna be yours, I wanna be yours.
Him saying, like, you meet her with the faux American accent just pisses you off? Yeah. This whole album is just fake. Manufactured bullshit. None of the emotions are real. None of the lyrical content is genuine. It's all for aesthetic purposes. It's all purely for the aesthetic. It's sad how glaring it is too in that aspect of phoniness. Yeah. Oh, the album's done. I Want to Be Yours is a fucking terrible cover. It feels like it's trying to recreate some of the feelings you get from like the first half of 505, except 505 actually does it in a way that's legitimately quite striking and gorgeous, and it also has an incredible explosive back half, unlike this song, which has nothing. I'm feeling a like solid to high 2 on this as a closer. Genuinely just a miserable, drab, unconfident, shallow, hollow crock of shit to finish this album. This was bad. This was a bad song. Ladies and gentlemen, that was AM by Arctic Monkeys. This album was as bad as I thought it was going to be. This album, at its best, is tolerable, and at its worst, is unlistenable. This thing is a drab, colorless, uninspired, tacky mess of a project that steals so much from so many different bands and doesn't add anything to those influences, and in fact takes away from them as they remove a lot of the color, a lot of the life, a lot of the personality from the bands that they are clearly taking so much inspiration from, like Queens of the Stone Age, like the White Stripes. Elements of country pop out throughout this album, different electronic and pop acts influences pop out along this album as well, and the band at no point are able to do it with a modicum of taste or musical prowess at all. They have legitimately no ability to create an interesting song across this entire album. There are 2 songs that I thought were fine, And besides that, the entire rest of this thing was just fucking miserable. A true drag of a listen. I did not find myself enjoying anything about the majority of these songs, as their lack of lyrical content, their lack of any sense of presence, their lack of the Arctic Monkeys identity just left them feeling like a shallow husk of what was once a genuinely great indie band. I can't even describe how disappointing it is to see the band in this state, how disappointing it is to know that we went from the band that made Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, to this. This was trash. Actual, genuine, like, trash. Like, we go from a band making songs like When the Sun Goes Down and, I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor and shit like that, to the band that made Mad Sounds, which is, like, one of the worst songs I've heard in a while. Listen to this shit on a date and I'll like it more. If I play this on a date, I'll get a slap to the face and the other person will leave. Yeah, this album fucking sucked. This was trash. This was actual fucking trash. I'm gonna calculate the score real quick. Well, sounds about right. I'm feeling a 3.2 out of 10 on this album, ladies and gentlemen. A low 3. Yep. This was pretty bad. This is the worst Arctic Monkeys album that I have heard, quite very easily. This is even worse than Humbug. This was just such a miserable fucking experience. Truly disappointing that this is the most popular rock album of the streaming era, when so many better rock albums have come out from so many bands that actually give a shit about creating a piece of art that's worth talking about. Yeah, this album sucks. This album was bad. This album was trash. Album was shit. Album was truly, truly boring and made me want to take a nap. If you want to listen to some good modern rock music, plenty of great albums came out this year. You got the new Swans album that was pretty great. New Maruja album was pretty great. New 21 Pilots album was pretty great. You got plenty of good modern rock music. Don't settle for this. Genuinely, don't settle for this fucking album. There's so much better stuff out there. Don't let this be as low as your standards go. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other Arctic Monkeys albums for you. You can check out my reactions to the first 3 albums somewhere in a playlist around here, and I will also have an Arctic Monkeys tier list video coming out once I listen to the rest of their albums as well. Yeah, like and sub if you haven't. We are on our way to 4K. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. Check those out if you haven't, and I will see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye bye.